Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. And I'd like to, may I just stand on the existing protocol because we do not have time. But let me extend my courtesies to the members of the high table and, of course, to my senior colleague here sitting next to me, MHR, sir. It's been a long journey. Every time we talk about how we can actually change the trajectory in Nigeria, I find it very passionate, especially as it concerns the young people. I see the young people from the angle of, not just because I'm a member of parliament, but because I'm a mother. We have to take it from the home front. I'm going to speak as a mother and as a caregiver to my children. And I think that charity should begin from our homes. Nigeria is not the Nigeria of the 1980s, when discipline was the call of the day, when morals was the order of the day, when we were growing up. But if we want to start talking about how to develop Nigeria, looking at the future, which is the young people, we need to start from the home front. Like I said earlier, parents should begin to take up their responsibility as parents. They need to begin to train their children in the way that they will be ready for leadership. If we don't start in that manner, we can have all the symposiums, we can have all the conferences, we can speak all the English, we can do all the things that we want to do in all of these events such as this. And then we go all home, and then by the time we come back the next time, we begin to hear in the dailies, we see all sorts of things in our social media, we hear all sorts of things in the news, what the young people are doing, which I'm not going to explain because we all know. We believe that when the young people take up leadership positions and they do well, it's because they have the sense of responsibility and the sense of leadership embedded in them. That's one angle to it. And then when we look at the governance in Nigeria now, like my brother here has rightly said that we're still doing the blame game. I'm going to use Rwanda as a case study because this is a country that I've been to, and I saw how they were able to imbibe forgiveness, and then they decided as a people to move forward, and they said to themselves that they were tired of the genocide and it was time for peace and they wanted development. Looking at Nigeria now, taking it back home, we need to stop the blame game. Every time the president speaks, people are so quick to go to the social media to run down, his comments and what have you. Every time a public office holder speaks in the public, everybody's so quick to attack the person and shut the person down. All of these things, we don't need to do all these kind of things. When we do that, what we're telling the outer world or the people who are actually watching us from other countries is that we're actually not ready. We're not just a serious, bunch of people. That's what we're telling the world, that we're just a bunch of clowns and we're just having fun and we just want to enjoy ourselves. We just want to do whatever we want to do. But if we're serious about how to change the paradigm of what is going on in this country, I'm telling myself as a parliamentarian that I'm tired and I cannot continue to be in the chambers, continue to come up with bills, move motions, be at the top of my voice at Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, and then I come back home and I'm still struggling to communicate with the people who I believe in, and I think that they're coming to take up these leadership positions that we're all talking about. It is time for us to stop the blame game. It is time for us to stop the social media, how should I say, the social media drama, politics and all of that, the theatrics that go on the social media against the government. It is time for us to come back home to the table. Let us all sit together. What's my responsibility? A lot has been said, and I'm really impressed about what the previous speakers have said, especially my gentleman sitting at the high table. You really need to ask yourself, what are you putting on the table for the country? We see how it happens in other climes. They have the responsibility to the taxes. They pay the taxes as and when due. We want to ask questions from the government, but have you paid your taxes? What have you done to the government? I see a lot of people throw trash on the highway. Is that how to build your country? What are you putting on the table? The government is expending so much money. Now we're in the House of Assembly. We don't sleep. We're in the budget season. We rack our brains. on how much to be expended in year 2022 for what the government will give to the people. But what is the people? What are they giving back to the government? We need to look at all of these things. It's a two-way thing. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if we want to talk about it seriously, I think we need to go back home. Charity, first and foremost, begins at home. Charity begins at home. Let mothers and fathers, let them start to take responsibility for the young people at home. Train them, talk to them, mobilize them in a way that they will be ready to take up leadership positions. And I want to extend my courtesy to all of the young people who are doing us proud around the continent. I'm not saying that we don't have young people who are serious-minded, but we really need to see them come forward more so that, we can actually tell the older people in government that we're ready, so that they can actually accept us and see that, yes, these people, even with their eyes closed, they can lead this country. Thank you very much for allowing me.